In a bombshell interview with NBC News today, Trump suggested that he would run for a third term, saying there were methods for doing so and clarifying that he was not joking. Quote, "A lot of people want me to do it, but I basically tell them we have a long way to go, it's very early in the administration, I'm focused on the current." When asked whether he wanted another term, the president responded, "I like working. I'm not joking," Trump said when asked to clarify, "but it is far too early to think about it." When asked whether he's been presented with plans that allow him to seek a third term, Trump said, "There are methods which you could do it." NBC News asked about a possible scenario in which Vice President J.D. Vance would run for office and then pass the role to Trump. Trump responded that that's one method, but there are others too, Trump added. Asked to share another method, Trump simply responded no. And let's be clear, this isn't a fluke statement by Trump. Steve Bannon confirmed this exact line of thinking just days ago during an interview with Chris Cuomo.
I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century if we're lucky. We've got him now. He's on fire, and I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028.
And obviously, anybody who doesn't like what you say but judges it as a function of a lack of intelligence doesn't know anything about you. I don't make that mistake. You're a smart guy. You know he's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that. We'll see. We'll see what the definition. We'll see what the definition of term limit is.
All right. Well, so you're talking about litigating this issue, because I don't want people to listen to our interview and say Bannon's cooking up an insurrection. Bannon is cooking up. You know what I mean? I want people to get a straight take on where your head is. What are you suggesting?
Chris, as you know, I've had greater long shots than this. When we supported President Trump after the election, I realize you don't believe the election in 2020 was stolen. We do. We fervently believe that. When President Trump went back to Mar-a-Lago on January 20th, 2021, he was the longest of long shots to return to the White House. We said that day in our podcast and doubled down, having President Trump's back, that he was coming back not just to win the primary, he would win the White House, and we had to get organized and drive that victory and also start working on all the policies, what's called Project 2025 or the America First Policy Institute, but all those different think tanks that started putting in the policies that you're seeing today in what we call Flood the Zone or Days of Thunder or however you want to describe it. But this is many years in the making. So we've had greater long shots than Trump 2028, and we've got a lot of stuff we're working on there. We're not prepared to talk about it publicly, but in a couple of months, I think we will be.
In fact, Trump himself has echoed this exact claim. I'll show you some clips which you might have previously felt were jokes, but keep in mind Donald Trump's clarification today when asked that he's, quote, not joking.
We've got it really rocking. We're looking good. We're looking good for another 4 years, and then we got to reporters, I say, we're looking good for another 4 years, and then if we want to, another 4, maybe another 5. And they go crazy. Just watch out, Bill Maher. He goes and looks at somebody like that. He goes, you know he's going to win, don't you? To some idiot that he's interviewing. He says, you know he's going to win. No, I think we can. You know he's going to win. And you know he's not leaving, don't you? And the guy's going, what do you mean? He's not leaving. He's not leaving it. And I thought he was kidding. He's been serious. So did anybody ever see the Time magazine where we have it 2020, 2024, 2028, 2032? In other words, we do that to drive them frickin' crazy.
And any Republican president ever, not even close. Almost 40% of the vote. Now, I won't be happy the next time. Should I run again? You tell me. There's your controversy right there. There's your controversy. Thank you. You'll be seeing that you're going to see that tonight, Tim, on television.
But the fact that they say I can't run again, that's the expression, sir. Then somebody said, I don't think you can. Oh,
And do not delude yourselves into thinking that the spineless band of clingers-on in the Republican Party aren't already on board. Republican Congressman Andy Ogles has taken the cake, just having introduced an amendment to the Constitution to allow Donald Trump to run for a third term in office. The resolution he introduced would amend the 22nd Amendment, which currently limits presidents to 2 terms. And I should note, too, we've seen this coming. Just days after the 2024 election, Congressman Daniel Goldman introduced a resolution to reaffirm Congress's support for the 22nd Amendment, which, again, limits the president to just 2 terms. The resolution was designed to get Republicans on the record in support because it was so utterly predictable that they were going to attempt something like this. And what did Mike Johnson do? He refused to even let it go for a vote. I asked Congressman Daniel Goldman for his response to Andy Ogles' resolution. He said, quote, "By now, Donald Trump's pattern is predictable. Joke about something unconstitutional or authoritarian, normalize the joke to allow sycophantic Republicans to adopt the joke into a serious idea until it becomes MAGA orthodoxy." Representative Ogles has followed the playbook perfectly by proposing a constitutional amendment to allow Trump to serve a third term. While I'm grateful that he acknowledges that a third term would require a constitutional amendment, nothing Donald Trump says or does is funny. So let's talk about the legality of what Trump is seeking to do. First off, Ogles' amendment is nakedly unconstitutional. Period. Second, there is not enough support to amend the Constitution, for which you need a 2/3 majority vote in both the House and the Senate, and then ratification by 3/4 of the states. So any legal route to do that is not happening. Period. But third and most importantly, none of that means that Republicans won't still try. Remember, presidential immunity also isn't in the Constitution, and guess what? Republicans, with the help from their judges on the Supreme Court, created it out of whole cloth. Also, barring insurrectionists from running for federal office again is in the Constitution, and yet again, with the help from their judges on the court, they eliminated that provision entirely, meaning we ignore this at our own peril. We give Republicans the benefit of the doubt at our own peril. And look, my job here is to balance what I believe is a legitimate threat with what is a distraction. Trump and his mouthpieces are very good at the art of distraction. And by the way, he's got good reason to distract right now. The stock market is in correction territory, 401ks are plummeting, costs are surging, the economy is set to contract, and consumer sentiment is in the toilet. Let's not pretend that poor economic conditions aren't fatal to a presidency. But the other side of that coin is that oftentimes Trump repeats these insane, dangerous, autocratic ideas expressly to be able to normalize them. His goal is to say it enough, to broadcast it in broad daylight so frequently that it loses its shock value. That is half the battle. He's starting right now, just 2 months into his second term, the work of normalizing this idea so that 3 years from now, it won't feel all that crazy, just by virtue of the fact that he has said it so damn much. So again, my job is to try and parse out what's worth talking about and what's not. I believe this is something that's worth talking about. Not only because we need to steel ourselves for the fight that's coming, but also because it is a testament to just how dangerous this person is. If you are a Republican or an independent or a non-voter or a conservative Democrat, this claim by Trump that he can run for a third term is a testament to who he is, how un-American he is, and his disdain for democracy. Opposing this person doesn't make you a radical leftist. Frankly, it makes you a good American. He is showing you right now who he is. Believe him. Before you go, first, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we're now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they're willing to cater to this White House. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a great way for me to be able to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's completely free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support my work. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.